Hello, everyone. Welcome to Carving a New Path. My name is Andrea Hyland. I am the host of this show. And before we go into the topic and with my guest, I'm going to just say a few words about the podcast, which was started in 2020 in response to all the change that people were experiencing. So I began to invite guests on to have conversations about listening to your inner voice and ways that they had birthed new ways of being in the world. And in case you haven't figured it out, it is 2026 and we are not going back to what life was like before 2020. Matter of fact, being in the zone of releasing the past and embracing the future is the new normal. We are all evolving and we will all continue to evolve together. So, today, in response to this whole idea, the title of the show is Do You Love All of You? And my guest is Sabine Kruse, who I'm so happy you're here, Sabine. And I know I'm going to talk about your bio and a little bit more about the show, but we have recorded a number of sacred geometry podcasts where you've really gone into different parts of sacred geometry, what it is, what the foundation is, as well as shared some exercises, activations, and different ways. So, just to highlight that for the audience, those are all in the show description. So, you can click on those after you listen to this show. So, I am excited to talk with Sabine about her new sacred geometry love symbol and to have a conversation that expands our relationship with a return to our true selves. And to just tell you a little bit about her, Sabine Kruse is an activator of human consciousness. For 20 years, Sabine worked as an economist devoted to improving the living conditions of people in developing countries, eventually realizing that knowing thyself is the most effective way to create a real impact. And with her deep understanding of sacred geometry and through her writing, coaching, and workshops and sacred geometry designs, Sabine inspires and empowers people around the world to break free from limitations, connect to their true nature, and live their best lives. So, today we're going to discuss the importance of developing an unconditional relationship with yourself in a natural, authentic way, not in an narcissistic way. And it is about the return to your true self. If you are watching this on YouTube, right behind Sabine, there is a love symbol that contains the frequencies of compassion, self love, universal love, joy, playfulness, and so much more. And I love on the equinox, she posted, May we embody the love that we are at the core of our being. So we will talk a little bit about this. You can look in the show page description for her website and other social media sites where the love symbol is there. So if you're listening to this and you can't see the symbol, it's on her website. And click on that link that's in the show page. So welcome.
Thank you, Andrea. I'm so happy to be here. Hello, everybody as well who's listening in or watching the show. We've had so many lovely podcasts so far already, and I'm really grateful that you invited me back to go deeper into one of the topics that's really dear to me. I mean, the self-love and loving all of who we are, really.
Yeah, I love that. So with this little bit of a description that I put in there, let's just begin by talking about why this topic is so important and
Mhm.
what are some of your experiences with it?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, let me start by making a bold statement. I have come to realize that you can only fully accept and love another human being, for example, when you fully love and accept yourself. So basically, because you are the source of the experience. And I just invite you all to think of somebody you love. Might want to close your eyes for that and just think of somebody, visualize that person or that pet or whoever it is in front of you and feel the love for that being. And now my question is, where do you experience the love? It's within you. The love is within you. You just project it onto the other person or to the other being. But the source of the love is within you. And so many of us, we look for love outside of us. In a relationship, for example, and we make it about the other person. But love is not relational, it is within you, and it's the very fabric of who you really are. So that would be my first statement about
Yeah,
about authentic love.
I, and thank you for that. I'm finding myself wanting to just sit with that and not speak. So let's just take it to the next level. Like, how can sacred geometry support us with this? Because I really am feeling what you just said. I was thinking about my four grandchildren, where really this love for them, and having it's I felt that for my own children, but I had birthed my children. I had just gone through carrying them, growing them in my body. And, there was a lot more going on when I first held them in my arms. But when I first held my grandchildren, each one of them in my arms, like that love was already inside of me that I was then pouring out to them. And I just remember how palpable that was at that point. And I could think of it with a lot of other things, like with nature, taking walks in nature and feeling that love in my heart. So thank you. Yeah, if it seemed like there was a pause after you finished, it's because it really was activating something within me. And I invite the listeners to, just really feel what that is and continue to let that deepen. But since we're on a podcast and we're not going to sit here quietly for the next half an hour, let's just go into how can sacred geometry support us with this topic. And yeah, I'll just have it go there. I can think of a lot of different ways that you could answer this question, but I'm going to be quiet and see what you have to say about it.
Yes. So, what is sacred geometry? I mean, sacred geometry really brings universal love or the light of consciousness into form. So, you can visualize it as a kind of a blueprint, a divine blueprint that helps us experience the universal love or the universal light of consciousness. And so it's basically the building block of the whole universe. The whole universe is organized in a fractal way, fractal meaning that everything contains, everything at the smallest scale contains everything from the bigger scale as well. So basically, the divinity, the essence of that consciousness, the universal consciousness, is in each and everything. And it's the building block for the universe, it's the building block for nature, it's the building block for a human body. You can find certain mathematical ratios like phi or pi or the golden ratio spiral, which is here also in this image, basically. You will find it everywhere in nature, in your body. So I won't go into the details because in other podcasts we already talked about that. Um, and it helps you actually by engaging with sacred geometry to remember your true nature, to remember this blueprint of creation within you. And so, because if we look at our lives, there are a lot of subconscious programs and beliefs we've taken on, like from our parents, from society, from religion, from school. So there are also limiting beliefs that are not based in the truth of who we are. And sacred geometry has the capacity to actually go into your subconscious mind where all these programs and belief systems and stuck emotions are stored, and to unravel those and help you by actually going past the mind and not being filtered by thoughts or by the mind, goes straight into the subconscious and helps you really to remember the essence, the blueprint of the universe, of the divine blueprint. So it takes you back to who you truly are by letting go of what you are not authentically. And so depending on and what is important to understand here as well, that each sacred geometry shape or form, and you might have heard of like a pyramid or the five platonic solids, such as a dodecahedron or tetrahedron or a hexahedron, which is a cube, um, or like an eight-pointed star, or all kinds of shapes and forms. They all have their own unique frequencies, their own way of bringing that universal love and light into form. And so, if you know what these frequencies are, and the qualities that they encompass, then you can actually work with certain shapes and forms. And I've put them together like you would put together a meal. Whatever I need for the love symbol, what kind of frequencies do we need to actually experience and feel the love? Put them together in this symbol, for example. Then you can come up with a design that activates those frequencies within you. And since I received the information in meditation on what kind of sacred geometry shape and form contains which frequency, and which is actually the basis for my book, I now know how you can actually put together those designs and how you can actually engage and play with certain sacred geometry shapes and forms to have those experiences of those frequencies and qualities that you wish to experience.
Beautiful. And so this is a blueprint that is behind you. That is, yes,
Mhm.
you call that a blueprint?
Yeah, I mean, I call it, I mean, a blueprint is basically the basis, no, for something like a blueprint where you would build
For
a
a
house
building.
on or something.
Yeah,
For me,
sure.
I call them in general designs, and if I feel like they are much more like foundational, then I call them blueprints. So I have a
Okay.
series of blueprints on certain topics
Mhm.
that I made available to people, like the blueprint for love and relationships, and the blueprint for health and vitality, the blueprint for prosperity and abundance, and career and calling. So these are more foundational sacred geometry designs. And this one I just called the love symbol.
I love that. And just to let everyone know, you do have blueprints available for people to purchase on your website. Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I just wanted
exactly.
to, yeah, to create that because that was, thank you for describing that because I really feel it even more. The way that you've created designs and then some of these, uh, I'll just say bigger designs are blueprints for something else. Yeah.
Yes, and they come with meditations as well, because that helps you then to activate those frequencies within you. Because if you not just only look at the design like we are doing at the moment, and we
Mhm.
will have an experience at the end of our podcast as well. But if you activate the energies and the frequencies that are inherent in those designs, then you have a much deeper experience.
Well, and I want to just say to everyone, I have been in some of those webinars with the blueprints, and they are really powerful. So I want to,
Thank you.
yes, encourage people to check that out if that resonates with you. So let's just talk about, I've been thinking about how there's probably a wide range of experiences that the audience, that the listeners have had around putting self-love into practice. But if you could talk about so it's like for some people, it might be this is your first step towards putting self-love into practice, at least with more consciousness. And for others, it's like, what is their next step to put self-love into practice? So could you talk a little bit about just some of the first steps or a next step that people could use to begin putting self-love into practice?
Yes. So I would suggest making yourself the source of the experience that you want to have. So basically, I mean, we all have all kinds of emotions and thoughts. Being human comes with emotions, thoughts, body sensations, feelings, and all kinds of life experiences. And they bring up certain things in us. Like, for example, many of you might relate to that sometimes. Just imagine your partner does not cooperate in the way you wish he or she would, like, for example, with domestic chores or um, chores or anything in the household or so. And that might evoke kind of emotion within you, know. You might feel, for example, anger or frustration. And then we have a tendency to make it about the other person. No? This person makes me angry because he or she doesn't cooperate. Um, but actually, the source of that anger, that frustration is also within you, similar to the love we just experienced. And that's just part of our humanity. And if you can just accept that, I mean, accept in that moment the anger that you might feel, the frustration, it could even be self-hatred that can come up sometimes, or instead of projecting it onto the other person, but actually to just be with it, let it move through you. Okay, there is anger. Let's feel the anger. And don't make yourself wrong for experiencing anger in this case. Huh? So just sit with it and experience it and let it flow through you. And then it can actually move through you and you can return to a peaceful state when that is over. And then you haven't made it about the other person. Because what I see a lot in the world at the moment is all these conflicts and wars. They're all rooted in, okay, there's something about the other that I don't like or that I want to have. So I'm projecting my own emotions, feelings, or even desires of wanting something the other person has onto the other person. And then we engage in conflicts, we engage in wars. What if we could just return to ourselves and just say, okay, I'm feeling that. I'm sitting with it. I'm letting it flow through me until I can return to a peaceful and a neutral state.
Yeah, I love that. And would you say that there is a basic, when you're talking, I'm thinking about the 0 point. Is
Yes.
a way to come back to yourself. And I know that we have talked about that on other shows, and you've had a practice around that. Um,
Yes, for me the 0 point is a beautiful tool to return to like a peaceful state wherever you are at any time at any place, you know. And it's so basically if you're very agitated or so, it could really help you to calm down and bring yourself back into your center. The 0 point is here basically in the middle of your heart chakra, in the middle of your chest. Um, and if you really focus on it, and it might help if you're still in your mind and if you're agitated, to first of all take a few deep breaths into your 0 point and really go with your attention into your 0 point because energy flows where attention goes. It's basically putting your attention into the 0 point. And if you're still in your mind, and you might want to do that with me right now just to experience it, just close your eyes and imagine you're going down a golden spiral staircase all the way from your mind into your heart chakra, into the middle of your chest. And take your time and really land in the middle of your chest in your 0 point. And put your attention on the 0 point in the middle of your heart chakra. Breathe into it. And you can also set the intention to stay in your 0 point. And you set an intention by simply thinking or saying, I set the intention to focus and stay in my 0 point. And again, here the energy follows the intention and the attention. And at least then you are out of your mind, you're in your natural space. And this 0 point, if you really practice it, can really open the portal for you into your true self, into peaceful, neutral being that you are at the core of your being. And if you practice that, it can go back to peace in an instant. How was it for you, Andrea?
Yeah, that was great. One of the things I do is I like to put my hand on my heart or my fingers in the center of my chest because that starts to bring a feeling of embodiment to me, like I'm focused not on the theory of it, but actually where my fingers are touching my chest. And then I find myself just really dropping into that. And then when I remove my hand, there's still a feeling there of being connected in that way.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because it really helps you to stay there, to focus, to be in your body.
Yes. Especially because I have such an active mind that I mean in my head I have such an active mind there that to remind myself to just drop in more, drop into my body. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. And I think that's one of those things that you can, I mean, even in a situation where you might be in a conflict or disagreement with someone, that you can keep your eyes open. You don't have to put your hands on your heart, but you can just have that intention of dropping down into your heart and listening and just not responding yet. That I can really feel that just returning to the love of yourself and not trying to get something from somebody else, not trying to change their reaction, not trying to change what the feelings are that you're feeling, the conflict. You know, I mean, we've said it before, and life is messy. There is sandpaper in our, it's like we use sandpaper on a piece of wood to get it to be smoother and all of that. So those sandpaper moments with a human can smooth you out, or the rock tumbler makes you shinier. And so yeah, so dropping down into your heart. That's the 0 point, really connecting with what is already here. This isn't about um, trying to find outside of ourselves something. It's already right here within us. Yeah.
Exactly. And it also helps you to take your power back. No, you're not a
Yes.
victim. You're not dependent on anybody else. And as you were saying, don't expect anything from anybody else. Because if you tune into an experience where you expected somebody to behave in a certain way or to give you something, and then he or she did not give that to you or did not behave in a certain way, I mean, how did it make you feel? Often we have a tendency to be frustrated, to suffer to a certain extent, no? But how would it have felt if we had not expected anything from that person to begin with? Then
Mhm.
you're free, no? I mean, it's like, okay. And then you can live life unconditionally, you know, and unconditionally towards the other person, but it always comes back to yourself, unconditional acceptance of you as well. And
Mhm.
then we go back to the topic, loving all of you. I mean, because people just show you certain parts of you that you haven't embraced yet and haven't accepted yet. And by accepting these parts in you and embracing them in you and coming back to that peaceful state in neutrality, then you set the other free, but you set yourself free as well.
Mhm.
Um, and you start loving all of you, and you start really opening up that portal within yourself to your true nature.
Mhm.
Um, And so this 0 point tool can be a really powerful tool, but it's also important not to make yourself wrong. I mean, if you feel anger, if you feel frustration, it's okay. I mean, you're human, and that's what humans do. They
Mhm.
have emotions and body sensations.
Feel a whole wheel of feelings that we get to experience in this human body.
It's just more about, being accountable for it because the source is within you. I mean, you are feeling those feelings and emotions, and it's fine. You accept them, you embrace them. You help yourself with coming back to your true nature, to the love that you are by using tools such as the 0 point, the breath. They focus on the heart, and then things can move through you, and yeah,
Mhm.
and then you continue from there.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Well, I know that I want to let the listeners know that in a few minutes, Sabina is going to do an activation with the love symbol, and I know you'll tell us a little bit about that. But before that, we talked about the blueprints that are available, including the webinar on your website. Tell us a little bit about the webinar series that's coming up this month, later this month. Yeah, tell us a little bit about what that is, and then we'll go into the activation with love, with the love symbol.
Yes. So the title of the webinar series, which comes with group coaching, because I'm a certified coach as well, so I love helping people to anchor everything that we've talked about today and more. Um, so it's embodying the inner qualities for new earth. And what do I mean by that? So let me ask you, what if you could embody the qualities and frequencies you wish to see in the world, instead of what you might perceive the state of the world to be at the moment, actually embody that which you wish to see? What would it be for you? What would you love to see in the world, Andrea?
Um, so many things, but the one that comes up for me is I would like to see more collaboration
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
instead of competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's basically, if everything is an inside job, so I will support you in actually embodying those frequencies that come with collaboration, with community, with compassion for others, with support, with love, um, and so I've designed like a series. I've been going through it myself now, and it's been really fun. Uh, so it's 8 webinar series on certain topics, such as like the first topic would be actually what we talked about today, self-acceptance and self-love. And from there we move into safety and trust, feeling safe in your body on earth and trusting yourself and others. And we go on from there, the magic and the flow with life, the joy, the return to joy, the return to harmony and balance, courage, authentic power, until we end up in infinity, peace and infinity. And so I've got certain tools that are really fun, and that with each of the topics that take you on an inner journey where you actually find out how you can activate, for example, your joy, or how you can see what the state of your self-love is, take you into a soul house, your own soul house exploration, or also what the biggest fears are that I would invite you to face. And so when we're going on certain journeys, you'll play with your magical child, and uh, we'll return to harmony and balance by letting go of which doesn't serve us anymore. Um, and at the end of these webinars, and there will be lots of opportunity also for group coaching. So whatever comes up when we do these tools, I invite people to be supported by me directly through coaching as well. And then at the end of the webinars, we will actually then activate and anchor those frequencies of each topic through a specific sacred geometry design. We will then activate, and you will also get the sacred geometry design to download for your personal use, and also the recording so that you can continue using those tools for yourself. And we'll start at the end of May, every second week, Thursday. Well, for me, it's evening. Maybe in the US, depending, Pacific time will be 10 a.m. And yeah, and all the information is on my website. And it's a small group. It will be a very like intimate group setting where we'll actually explore all these topics. And the idea is really to support you in embodying the qualities and frequencies you wish to see in the world, and embodying basically your highest potential so that we can usher in a new phase also for humanity here on Earth.
Yeah, and I just encourage the listeners, if there was a topic that Sabina was just highlighting that kind of lit up for you, and I would encourage you to go look at what is on her website. It's interesting because other than collaboration, I was thinking joy, and partly it was just recently a friend of mine had was got a blood test and her iron levels were so low, and we were just talking about what was something that, like, what was a quality that she wanted to start working on in her life more as part of her healing journey? And it was joy. And it's like sometimes we think we know what joy is supposed to look like. And so I feel like that each of the topics that you're mentioning, expanding what it really looks like for us, not what we think we're supposed to be doing or what joy is supposed to look like, is like some really big energy that you're supposed to be creating and no sadness or problems or whatever, but just returning to those states of moments of joy. And so I'm excited about your webinar series and that you're going to have group coaching as part of it and really help people explore and uncover those qualities to embody them. Yeah.
Yeah, these are also my favorite words, no? Explore and,
Right.
and then also you embody them, and then you bring them out into the world, you share them with the world. No?
Absolutely. And bringing them out into the world can be walking through the grocery store, just being in that frequency and knowing that is bringing it out to the world. It's not even like it has to be more work to you. When you're embodying those qualities and frequencies, you are that. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And it ties in so well with what my life has been about, discovering really that you cannot really make an impact if you just focus on the outer world. It's really an inner job, knowing thyself, and embodying thyself, basically thy true self, are the stepping stones for that. And yeah, and especially in times where people are so outward focused and so focused, and we need the inner wisdom and the inner leadership and coming from the heart and knowing who you are and then speaking your truth and bringing it out into the world and being authentic and not like the world is getting more and more artificial. But what we are really longing for is having these authentic contributions and connections and frequencies. No? And this is really what I would like people to support people with.
Yeah, yeah,
Being all of you, loving all of you.
yeah. And what you see out there, work on the embodiment within. That is where how things you can impact things. What you wish to see in the world begins with you.
Exactly. It's a bit like if you're looking into a mirror now, I'm seeing myself, for example, here on Zoom.
Mhm.
And if I wanted to see a different picture, it doesn't change anything if I if I paint the picture that I see on my screen, but it has to be here
Yes,
where the change needs to happen, you know.
absolutely. So let me turn it over to you fully here to do the love activation. Anything that you want to say to, I'll just take it away.
Yes, maybe as a last invitation for the listeners and for the audience in general. So if you want to know what are the first steps or the main steps as a takeaway, like from what we've discussed so far, I would love to leave you with three A's, triple A, which is awareness, acceptance, and allowing. And so the awareness is basically become aware of your emotions, feelings, thoughts, body sensations. Basically, be the witness and see, be aware of what's actually happening in you, through you. And then accept it. Accept your humanity. Accept who you are as a human being as well, what you're going through, how you're reacting and responding. So, whatever you're aware of, accept it. And then, when you repeat that and go in the state of allowing, then something new can emerge because accepting your humanity acts as a doorway into your infinity, into your true self. It opens up something. And then you become more accepting, not only with you, but with others. And there is, when you fully allow the human experience, then something new emerges. You can let your true self in, your multidimensional nature, your infinite nature. And then you end the separation between you and the infinite consciousness that we are, the love that we all are at the deepest core of our being. That's my experience. And that's what I wanted to leave you with before I go into the activation.
Mm, beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
And for the activation, I'd like, for those of you who are on YouTube, I'd like to share my screen so you can see the symbol more clearly. Um, can you see the symbol fully?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. So it's called the love symbol, and as you already mentioned, Andrea, it contains frequency of love or self-love, compassion, self-compassion, universal love, joy, playfulness, in general, like heart-based frequencies. And when I now guide you into an activation, you don't need to know all the ingredients. I will mention, the sacred geometry shapes and forms that are in there, but don't focus on that. Just be in the experience. We just open them up and activate them. And and we will energetically step into the symbol, which will allow for a deeper experience of its frequencies, and I'll guide you through it. It's just one way of working with sacred geometry in an experiential way so that I can actually feel it more deeply. But I'd like to start, first of all, by inviting you to go into your 0 point, as we did before. So all you have to do is just focus and breathe into the 0 point, which is in the middle of your heart chakra, in the middle of your chest. You might want to place your hand on your 0 point. You might want to close your eyes. And if you're in your mind, just imagine going down a golden spiral staircase all the way from your mind into your heart chakra, into the middle of your chest, into the 0 point, focusing on your 0 point. Set the intention to stay in your 0 point. And you breathe into it. And now just imagine, visualize the love symbol in front of you, a huge sacred geometry symbol, and just set the intention to energetically step into the love symbol. So all you have to do is just to say or think, I set the intention to energetically step into the love symbol. And now see, sense, or feel that you're inside a torus of love, a toroidal field which harmonizes and distributes energies equally. Torus of love in the colors of pink for compassion and gold for your essence. See, sense, or feel a golden sphere within that toroidal field with a rim of pink vesicle Pisces. These are overlapping circles for balancing polarities. There's also a pink sphere around it. The sphere is a symbol for creation, and pink supports you with compassion. Now see, sense, or feel a toroidal heart in pink. A toroidal heart where two golden ratio spirals are coming together as one heart that keeps moving from the inside out and the outside in, emanating out its frequencies of love, its heart-based frequencies. And I invite you to sink into that toroidal heart and its heart-based frequencies. Now see, sense, or feel a huge dodecahedron in the center, spreading universal love and grace in the color of purple for transcendence, facilitating the receiving from the universe through the crown chakra. And in the four directions around the dodecahedron, there are four seeds of life with 7 instead of 6 circles around a central circle with expanding pink hearts in their centers, helping us to plant new seeds of consciousness from the heart. The number 7 for being natural and aligned with natural and cosmic cycles and rhythms. And the color of green for being natural, yellow for boosting self-confidence, and white for purity and innocence. And while these new seeds of consciousness are being planted in your energy field, notice the 44-pointed star coming out of the center of the love symbol, bringing oneness back to earth and anchoring it here, creating heaven on earth in gold for essence, helping infinity to be made experienceable on earth. And see, sense, or feel the truncated octahedron in the center of the toroidal heart. It's a form that facilitates the shift from the mind to the heart, supporting you in following your heart and speaking your heart's truth, in green for being natural and blue for clarity and truth. And in the center of the love symbol, there's the crystalline pyramid consciousness symbol with white blueprint dots, which activates multidimensional abilities in thinking outside the box. And it lends energetic support where support is needed, unlocking old energies and bringing in the new frequencies connected to everything is possible. And in the center of the pyramid consciousness symbol, there are two infinity symbols representing limitlessness and our infinite nature. In black, the color of the void, out of which everything comes and everything returns to. On top of a golden 0 point, the start of creation from our divine source. Experience the pyramid consciousness symbol and the infinity symbols in your body and energy system, going where it needs to go, supporting you in living your life from your heart and embodying the frequencies of love. Now again, let's set the intention to activate the love symbol. So we set the intention to activate the love symbol, and we ask it to rotate and spin within, around, and through us with the intention of sharing its frequencies of love, of living life from the heart with us. We set the intention to activate the love symbol, and we ask it to rotate and spin within, around, and through us with the intention of sharing its frequencies of love, of living life from the heart with us. Spin, sacred geometry, spin. And while you're basking in the energies of the love symbol, tune in. How do you feel? What do you experience? Notice what is possible now. And then slowly, in your own timing, come back into your body, into the room that you're in, into the here and now. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome back.
Beautiful. I'm glad
How
that
was that?
I'm glad that we've recorded it because I do want to listen again. I felt like there was this point where I felt like there was a new energy coming into my body and
Mhm,
and it really was coming into my heart. And it was like, okay, like receive this, allow this,
mhm,
let it grow. And then I was curious about what it would be. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, I want to go out in the world and just walk with this new piece of activated love in my heart. Just I don't know, I just had the impulse to do that, to be this, to just walk out, let me go out. I want to go out in the world and I just want to walk in the yeah, to it wasn't like I want to go out in the world and get something. It was like I want to walk out in the world as this, being this. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm saying that I'm going to listen to the recording again because it felt like this was a first step, or a next step because I have ways that I know that I love myself and have cultivated that, but it's like this next step of allow this to come in waves. Yeah.
It feels like the new seeds of consciousness that we planted as well.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's what I was like trying to figure out. What was that? But yes, the new seeds of consciousness. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love that. Thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for your generosity. When you come on the podcast, you always bring some kind of activation or teaching tool that is, it's just generous to give this to people. And for anyone who's listening, I really hope that you will go to some of the social media sites, Sabina's Instagram page, and where she has symbols that are there with different words that she shares, which to me are an activation. And then check out her website and see if this is the next step for you in embodying the qualities and frequencies of the earth of wait, I wrote down the qualities that you wish to see in the world, like instead of being like, why are people being like this or what da 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 da. Okay, what
Yeah,
do you
because that's really what we can do to usher in the new reality, no?
it's right in here. It's not out there. um yeah, so anything else that you want to share as we are wrapping up this time together on the show?
I really love people to experience sacred geometry, so that it doesn't just stay in the mind. You can read about it. I mean, there's so many, of course, in books and information and all that, but it's really so important to actually engage with it because then you can embody the frequencies. And that's why I love doing these activations also at the end of podcasts or webinars or so, because then you can really experience it and anchor it in your field. And you can always come back to it if there is a recording and like also with the meditations that come with a blueprint series, for example, you can always listen to it every evening if you like on a certain topic or every morning. And this is also the power of the repetition, no? Because also with what I shared before, the triple A awareness, acceptance, allowing, this comes through repetition. I mean, of course, you will not always be aware or accepting or allowing. It's just, it's okay. You just come back to it again, go back into your heart, and more into war. You will actually lead your life from your heart. But it's not, I mean, for very few people, it can happen, in an instant, and you're aware of your true nature and you live from it. But generally speaking, it's more like a process through repetition as well. Um, and yeah, this is why I create these tools and designs and to be of help and of support to people. And I would just like to encourage people to follow their heart and live the life as the soul that they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we were talking about, do you love all of you? So let that idea just kind of bubble in you as you go about your day and to feel this frequency of the love symbol and notice what that is. But thank you so much, Sabina, and I look forward to your webinar series and
Thank you. Mm.
all the conversations that we had leading up to this were wonderful, and I look forward to more. Yeah,
Thank you for being such a wonderful host again and for inviting me back to your show. I
yeah,
really enjoyed it.
my pleasure. And thank you to all the listeners. And take a look at the channel here and see if there's another topic also that lights up for you. And until then, enjoy the adventure. Yeah,
Yes, thank you to everybody for coming here and joining us in this conversation.
absolutely. All right. Thank you.